I think that's been photoshopped, to be honest, to make you look more menacing.
That's always my face when Sky get in touch saying you're walking with Micah this week.
I'll see you out there.
Programme notes today. Michael Carrick has spoken to the United crowd as they arrive. He says it's been a fantastic week. The training ground environment is really positive. The players have applied themselves brilliantly and there's been a great atmosphere amongst all the staff. That's all good to hear, isn't it, Roy?
What's you expecting to say? Listen to Harry Maguire, they're saying there's a good vibe, there's energy in the place. Of course, that's what's going to happen when a new manager comes in. We've heard that for the last 50, 60, 70 years. A new manager walks in, there's a spring in everyone's step.
Here. I've seen a story that Man United might not sign a third midfielder, and it was on an aggregator site on X, and I was sat at that beach bar down there, literally, with a beer in my hand, reading it, and I was fuming. I was running around that bar there going, what's going on, what's going on? And people probably don't even like football because they're all got loads of this. But look, first and foremost, before we get into these ridiculous... I mean, Elliot Anderson saying that Kevin De Bruyne is his role model and Man City is a bigger club than Man United, that tells you everything. It tells you the Glazers are shit, and it tells you what they've done to the club in... It's not a second point, they're still shit. It tells you what they've done to the club in the last 20 years. You've got people like Elliot Anderson, who is 23, and we've warned you about this. They're now growing up with Kevin De Bruyne as a role model and Man City bigger than Man United. And people are getting very angry about it, going, oh, what's he talking about? He's talking rubbish. But hold on a minute, is he talking rubbish? Have Man United been relevant for the last decade? I mean, Elliot Anderson 10 years ago was a teenager, a young teenager, and Manchester City are bigger than Man United. I mean, I'll defend Man United to the hilt if we're talking 20, 30 years ago, but in the last 10 years, we can't have it both ways. You know, the Glazers have ruined this football club. So Elliot Anderson, he's not saying that Sean Gota is his hero or Paul Dickoff. He's saying Kevin De Bruyne, and he could say Kompany, he could say David Silva, he could say Aguero, and he wouldn't be wrong. United have been irrelevant for 10 years. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong to say that Man City are bigger than Man United, is he? Because that's what's happened. And, you know, the anger shouldn't be at Elliot Anderson. I've seen a lot of people going, oh, shut up, this, that, and the other. The anger should be at the club. That's where the anger should be. And, look, ultimately, though, what I will say about the modern footballer is if Man United had given him 300 grand a week and he'd come to Man United, his role model would be Paul Scholes or Wayne Rooney. And Man United would be the biggest club in Manchester. I mean, let's not forget, if you play for Man City, you are a mercenary.
Rosenborg versus Manchester United. Match preview. Manchester United returned to Norway with unfinished business. 2 years ago, a young United side walked into the Lerkendal Stadion expecting a comfortable pre-season evening. Instead, Rosenborg pushed them to the limit, dominated large periods of the match, and scored a dramatic stoppage-time winner. Now, the Red Devils are back. But once again, they arrive with questions surrounding their fitness, their squad, and their readiness for the new season. Can Manchester United finally produce a convincing response under Michael Carrick? Or will a fully match-fit Rosenborg side shock them for the second time? Welcome to After 90X. Let's break down everything you need to know ahead of Rosenborg versus Manchester United. The match takes place on Friday, July 24th, 2026 at the Lerkendal Stadion in Trondheim. Kickoff is scheduled for 5 p.m. British Summer Time, which is 6 p.m. local time in Norway. On paper, Manchester United are the clear favourites. They possess the bigger names, the stronger individual quality, and significantly greater resources. But pre-season football is rarely decided on reputation alone. Rosenborg are already deep into their domestic campaign. Their players are physically sharper, tactically settled, and accustomed to playing competitive football every week. United, meanwhile, are still rebuilding their fitness following the summer break and the World Cup. That difference in match sharpness could completely change the balance of this game. Rosenborg enter the contest after consecutive 3-0 league victories over Kristiansund and Start. Manchester United, however, began their pre-season with a disappointing 1-0 defeat against Wrexham in Helsinki. The Wrexham result should not create panic, but the performance highlighted several early problems. United controlled possession without consistently turning that possession into dangerous opportunities. Their passing was occasionally too slow, the movement ahead of the ball was limited, and their attacks became predictable around the penalty area. Carrick will want to see a much quicker Manchester United against Rosenborg. The ball must move faster through midfield. The wide players must attack their defenders directly. Most importantly, United need more runners entering the box whenever possession reaches the final third. One player who could become extremely important is Mason Mount. Mount's energy, movement and pressing can give United the intensity that was missing against Wrexham. Playing as the attacking midfielder, he should look to operate between Rosenborg's midfield and defensive lines. If Mount receives the ball in those spaces, he can combine with the striker and release United's wide attackers. But his performance cannot only be about creativity. Carrick will also expect him to lead the press and prevent Rosenborg from building comfortably from the back. Another major player to watch is Andre Santos. The new midfielder is expected to receive another opportunity after making his United debut against Wrexham. Santos offers aggression, ball-winning ability, and the confidence to carry possession forward from deeper positions. United need a midfielder capable of breaking Rosenborg's first pressing line, rather than simply playing safe passes from side to side. Santos could provide exactly that. A potential midfield partnership involving Santos and Toby Collier would give United plenty of energy, but it could also lack experience. Rosenborg may try to exploit that by pressing aggressively and forcing the young midfielders into rush decisions. Further forward, Bryan Mbeumo could provide United's biggest attacking threat. His movement from the right side allows him to attack the space between the opposition left-back and centre-back. He can remain wide to stretch the defence, but he is most dangerous when he moves inside and attacks the goal. If United can switch the ball quickly toward Mbeumo, he could find himself isolated against a defender. That is the type of situation Carrick's team must create repeatedly. On the opposite side, Patrick Dorgu could offer pace, direct running and width. With Joshua Zirkzee potentially operating through the middle, United may use his ability to drop deeper and connect the attack. However, Zirkzee cannot spend the entire game outside the penalty area. United need a central target when crosses arrive. If the striker drops short, Mount or one of the wide attackers must immediately run beyond him. Defensively, Manchester United must be prepared for Rosenborg's intensity. The Norwegian side are likely to use a 4-3-3 formation and attack quickly after recovering possession. Their main objective will be to draw United forward before exploiting the spaces behind the fullbacks. Amin Chiaka is expected to lead Rosenborg's attack after scoring twice in his previous appearance. Emil Konradsson-Seidr is another dangerous player because of his creativity and ability to deliver the final pass from wide areas. United's centre-backs cannot afford to defend passively. Harry Maguire's physical strength will be valuable against Rosenborg's central striker, while Lenny Yoro's recovery pace could be essential whenever the Norwegian side attack in transition. Luke Shaw may also receive more pre-season minutes. His positioning will be important because Rosenborg will look to attack the space he leaves whenever he moves forward. For Carrick, however, this match is about more than the final score. He needs to see evidence that his ideas are beginning to develop. Can United press together rather than as individuals? Can they progress the ball through midfield with greater speed? Can they create chances without depending on one moment of individual brilliance? And can the young players demonstrate that they are ready to compete for first-team opportunities? One of the most exciting names in the travelling group is 15-year-old academy attacker JJ Gabriel, who could be given his first senior appearance. Chido Obi, Harry Amas, Shea Lacey and the Fletcher brothers are also among the young players pushing to impress during pre-season. Do not be surprised to see two very different Manchester United teams during this match. Carrick may begin with a relatively experienced lineup before making several changes after half-time. That could disrupt United's rhythm, but it will also give the manager an opportunity to evaluate more players. My predicted Manchester United formation is a 4-2-3-1. Tom Heaton in goal, Lenny Yoro, Harry Maguire, Aidan Heaven and Luke Shaw in defence. Andre Santos alongside Toby Collier in midfield. Bryan Mbeumo on the right, Mason Mount centrally and Patrick Dorgu on the left. Joshua Zirkzee leading the attack. Rosenborg will make this uncomfortable. They are playing at home, they are match fit, and they know they have already beaten Manchester United at this stadium. In the 2024 meeting, Rosenborg won 1-0 through Noah Holmes' stoppage time goal. That memory should ensure United do not underestimate their opponents again. I expect Rosenborg to begin aggressively and test United's physical condition during the opening 20 minutes. But as the match develops, United's individual quality should begin creating opportunities. My final prediction is Rosenborg 1, Manchester United 2. I expect a competitive match, moments of defensive vulnerability from United, but ultimately a stronger attacking performance and their first victory of pre-season. Now it is your turn. Will Manchester United take their revenge in Norway, or are Rosenborg about to produce another pre-season shock? Leave your score prediction in the comments. Subscribe to After 90X for more match previews, tactical analysis, and everything that happens before and after the final whistle. This is After 90X, where the match never truly ends after 90 minutes.